Add to the stream. Perfect. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the Texas Rangers report. Um, First live stream in about a week. I'm not really too sure, but we do have some news and more just rumors to discuss regarding free agency. Um, that regards Clayton Kershaw, Seiya Suzuki, the outfielder from Japan, and bullpen options because Jose Leclerc and Jonathan Hernandez, two really good pitchers for the Texas Rangers who could be closers or setup guys. Those guys are going to be out until May or the back end of May. So the Rangers bullpen is still pretty strong in my opinion, or they have people that could be valuable down the line, but it's still a super young club or super young bullpen. So I think they might need some veteran presence in there just to get through like the first 2 months of the season. But also, it doesn't hurt to have established veterans on a team, could, um, especially if they could produce. I'm trying to connect my AirPods, but it's not working right now. So let me know if you can hear me. But obviously, the Texas Rangers have interest in Clayton Kershaw. And I think a Clayton Kershaw signing for the Rangers makes so much sense. And I'll break this down. So we all know Clayton Kershaw. He's gonna go to the Hall of Fame. One of the best pitchers in our generation. He's from the Dallas Fort Worth area. That's where the Rangers are pretty much located. So that makes sense. His kids are starting to enter the age of going into school. And it might make sense for Kershaw to be like, okay, I want them to go to school in Dallas, because obviously he knows what Dallas is all about with the education. And maybe he doesn't want them out in LA, but he also has a house in Dallas. So could you imagine like spending part of the year with his kids in LA, and then in the summer you go to Dallas? How can his kids like keep consistent friends? That'd be tough. And then we also have the Dodgers connection on our team. We have Chris Woodward, Tim Hires, and then the biggest player, like we have a bunch of players from the Dodgers, but the biggest one has to be Corey Seager. And I really do think all three of those guys are going to try to recruit Clayton Kershaw to the Texas Rangers. This probably would take a 3-year deal, maybe a 4-year deal. As far as the money, that's where it gets interesting because Kershaw, as we know, he has the pedigree, although his play has gone down in the past couple of years. However, let's just say he was in the Rangers rotation last year, he still would have been the best Rangers starter in the rotation. However, he had that injury late in the season and he couldn't even pitch for the Dodgers in the playoffs, which is concerning. I know that Kershaw is going to try to pitch after Christmas, I believe, in front of teams. Although I don't know if you can do that during a lockout, so maybe it'll be after the lockout. But I do think he can help you. Let's just say it's a 3-year deal, $15 million a year. I think that could help you, and that could bring into another signing down the road. It's like maybe that's why we don't sign Kyle Schwarber and we save money going after outfielder Seiya Suzuki. But Kershaw would bring veteran experience. And as we said, this is a young ball club. So John Gray, Clayton Kershaw can help the young guys like Taylor Hearn, Dane Dunning, Colby Allard, and then eventually Cole Winn and Jack Leiter. That could be great for the Texas Rangers. And also those fringe guys like Glenn Otto, AJ Alexy, Spencer Howard, that could be tremendous. And then the postseason experience because you want to build a culture for the Rangers. And you can do that with Clayton Kershaw, Corey Seager. And then, so I do wonder if he wants a no trade clause. That's something that I'm curious if he's interested in. But I am interested in Kershaw. If I'm being realistic, I think his two real choices sign Clayton Kershaw. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. I definitely would. If not, I do think the Rangers should at least try and go after Carlos Rodon to start for the White Sox. Although the problem with Rodon is that he doesn't have a good track record. So you could sign him, but you really don't know what you'll be getting. But he does have high potential. Although with Kershaw, you know what you've gotten in the past, but will you get that in the future? So it's kind of like the same thing. Will these guys perform? But I think Kershaw would just be a better signing, in my opinion. From Dak Prescott, if we sign Seiya Suzuki and Kershaw, we can win 85 to 87 games. Yeah, I do think that we could be competitive. I don't know if we really make the playoffs. Still keep your eyes set for 2023 as a real playoff contention window. And especially, I just remembered this. I think next year or this upcoming season, we're still on the book for Elvis Andrus' contract. And I believe Rougned Odor's. So if you add that up, that's close to $25 million. So once you take those guys off the books, that could open up a decent amount of money for the Rangers to go after a big time free agent again, because we already did that twice this offseason, or less notable free agents, but more for depth. Let me just look that up just so I'm not pulling this out of nowhere. I get all my stuff from Spot Track. But I think if we sign those guys, it could help out a lot. The problem is, let's just say Clayton Kershaw gets injured. That's why I still think we need to sign a cheap starting pitcher who can eat innings. So would that be a Danny Duffy, Carlos Martinez? Would UC Kikuchi? I think that's his name. He was actually an all-star this year for the Mariners, but he actually wasn't that great. Would he be a guy that could eat innings? Fulton Nevich and Jordan Lyles actually did a really good job of eating innings. They weren't good at it. Like they weren't productive in those innings that they ate, but they did the job. But then if you go and sign Suzuki, I think that this lineup starts to get really, really fun. I still think the outfield problems aren't solved with Suzuki because he does have risk surrounding him. And then you go to Adolis Garcia in center. He has the risk of just not performing like he did last year. And if his second half is a sign, then that's a little worrisome. And then Cole Calhoun, he's just really a platoon player, in my opinion. So do you platoon him with Eli White, maybe Nick Solak, Andy Ibanez? That's something that the Rangers need to think about. But that might not be the worst thing in the world because Nick Solak and Andy Ibanez actually do rake against left-handed pitchers. Do I think they go and find like a Jorge Soler to platoon with Cole Calhoun? Probably not, because I do think they still want one more outfielder, probably two more starting pitchers, and then probably tap into the bullpen. And when I say tap into the bullpen, like actually giving a guy a major league contract. Usually with this stuff, they give out minor league. They give out a lot of minor league deals with invites to spring trainings. That's what happened to Ian Kennedy last year and Matt Bush. Both of the guys ended up making the MLB roster. So I do think they'll maybe at least give one major league contract, but they'll give a lot of non-roster invitees. And even Spencer Patton, he was given a non-roster invitee, and he is actually still on the roster for the Rangers. So let me go and look at Texas Rangers Spot Track. All right, here we go. So wow. The Rangers 40 man has jumped all the way to $117 million after the Seiya signing, the Simeon signing, John Gray, Jose Leclerc, Cole Calhoun, and then with the projected arbitration. What's up, Mike? Right now, we're seeing how much money the Rangers will have next year whenever Elvis and Odor's contracts are off the books. Okay, so right now, Odor, we're paying his entire salary, I believe. He's getting $12 million. And then Elvis is getting paid $7.25. So next year, you free up $19.25 million. You could go after a starter, an outfielder, or you can spread that money up and get some depth players. That's significant because that's when the Rangers really want their window to start. I don't think we should be like the Padres like this and trade the entire farm system and then sign every single free agent. Because obviously, let's look at the Padres. They thought their window was right now. And I mean, they're still a really good ball club, but now their farm system is depleted. I'm okay if we make like a Matt Olson trade or a Luis Castillo trade, but obviously not just giving up the farm. Seager's bonus is a part of that. If referring to this $117 million, that does make sense. Oh yeah, Seager has a $500,000 signing bonus. Same with Jose Leclerc. So I wouldn't carry over to 20. Oh, okay, I got you. Tato, why doesn't anyone talk in the Discord? I don't know. But this is a good plug for the Discord. Check the description down below. There's a Discord for the Texas Rangers. If you don't know what Discord is, it's basically like a group chat. And basically, it's all for all Texas Rangers all year long. Just like this channel, but obviously I can't be making content 24/7. So with that being said, the Rangers would have $19.25 million for next year. Just free money. Obviously, they have like their current money that if they don't spend like too much this year, then they would have money to transfer over. That'd be 2023, I believe. Because you could go after a starter, and then if you sign Kershaw, it could be Kershaw, Gray. Let's just say you don't get Castillo, so Dunning, either Jack Leiter, Cohen, and let's just see. Okay, Syndergaard's a free agent next year, and there's no qualifying offer attached to him because he already had that offer. Trevor Bauer, no, not him. So Noah Syndergaard definitely will be an unrestricted free agent because he signed that 1-year deal, but no qualifying offer, which could be really attractive if he has a good year. Adam Wainwright, no. Nathan Eovaldi, no. I'm looking at guys that are just unrestricted. A lot of these club options will probably be picked up. I mean, you have Justin Verlander, Jacob deGrom, Chris Sale, all with player options, and Trevor Bauer with a player option. But I don't know if the Rangers should target those guys. You have Taiwan Walker with a $6 million player option, but he pitched like an all-star last year, and he probably would want more than $6 million. Remember, we got $19.25 million to spend. Not looking like a great starting pitcher class. Let's just click on all positions. Because honestly, the Rangers could go for an outfielder. Honestly, I'm open to anything right now. So if you're just joining right now, we're looking at the 2023 free agency class because the Rangers will have $19.25 million after Elvis and Odor's contracts are off the books. Okay, so I'm JD Martinez would be a free agent. Noah Syndergaard, those are two big free agents. Nolan Arenado has a player option. He'll probably accept that. If Jacob deGrom opts out, that would be crazy. Hold on, let me go over these comments real quick. Xander Bogaerts has a player option. Charlie Blackmon, no. Eric Hosmer, he's definitely. I have Discord, but I never use it. Well, just join the Discord. From Mike. Was Seager's bonus only 500K? That was 5 mil. Well, he's getting 500K this year. But I'm not exactly sure how much his bonus is completely worth. So it might be 5 million, and then they're just spreading it out. But honestly, this 2023 free agency class is looking pretty underwhelming, and that's probably why the Rangers want to spend a pretty penny this year. Justin Turner has a club option. Jose Abreu, but he's already 36 years old. The actual yikes. Well, oh no, he's not 36, but he'll be 36 whenever he hits free agency next year. Tato, I'm still on the Nate Lowe train. I still believe he can improve and post an OPS of at least 800. We need to give him at least next season prove himself. I definitely. Well, I don't know about the 800 OPS, but I definitely think he needs to prove himself this year. Oh look, Elvis Andrews is a free agent. This free agency class is terrible. Evan Longoria, Roldis Chapman, Lorenzo Cain, Michael Brantley, Elvis Andrews, Craig Kimbrell, Gene Segura, Didi Gregorius, Will Myers, Will Smith, Zach Britton, Jackie Bradley Jr., AJ Pollock, Yadier Molina, Corey Knebel, Kyle Gibson, Mike Minor. Reunion. No. Kevin Kiermaier, Carlos Santana, Ryan Presley. Yikes, that is trash. I mean, Taiwan Walker, Trevor May, Jerickson Profar, Enrique Hernandez, Uliski Gurriel. He's going to be almost 40 at that time. Holy crap. Oh, Jose Ramirez. Nah, he's not going to be a free agent. He has a club option, which will definitely get picked up. Mike Clevenger is a free agent, though. That's interesting. Mike Clevenger. Interesting personality, if we're being honest. Ketel Marte has a club option. That's getting picked up. Tim Anderson, club option. Dang, this free agency class sucks. Okay, so maybe we won't use that 19.25 million. Maybe the owners will just keep it and buy a yacht. Yeah, from Mike, DeGrom would be awesome. Do I think he'll decline his player option? No, I don't. But if he did, I think the Rangers have got to pounce on that. And then again from Mike, if it clicks, having technical difficulties right now. Oh my God, there we go. If Lowe can get his launch, oh crap. If Lowe can get his launch angle up, he would be a beast. His exit velo is awesome. Yeah, I know. I really thought he would have more home runs. Like at least 30. He only had 18, I believe. I think is something that could be taught, especially with the new hitting coaches, the offensive coordinators. So Tim hires the hitting coach and Donnie Eckert, the offensive coordinator. That could definitely be worked out. But also you need to put in the work, be consistent. But I think there is hope for Lowe. Although, if he is a part of a Matt Olson deal, IKF, Nate Lowe, Justin Foscue, would you do it? And let's just say the Rangers knew that they could extend Matt Olson. Or if you throw him in for Luis Castillo, would you do it? And this is all contingent that, yeah, we will extend those free agents. Just looking more at the 2023 class. Oh, trade Turner. Oh, Aaron Judge too? Oh my. Edwin Diaz, Sean Manaea, Dansby Swanson. Oh, Joey Gallo, I forgot. Andrew Bennett. Why are all the good players at the bottom? Andrew Benintendi, Adam Duvall, Josh Bell, Chris Bassett, Joe Musgrove, Mitch Haniger, Jesus Aguilar, Trey Mancini, Wilson Contreras, Gary Sanchez, Adam Frazier, Taylor. Who's Taylor? Oh, he's a relief pitcher. Brandon Nemo. Okay, it's actually not that bad. It's actually pretty solid. Not great, but like not terrible. Could 19 and a quarter be enough to get Joey Gallo? I actually not a lot of the Rangers fans want Joey Gallo back. A lot of you guys say good riddance. I do believe in Joey Gallo because if you look at his 2019 season, if he didn't get injured, I think he could have been a top candidate for MVP. And then if he didn't go to the Yankees, I do think he would have been a top candidate for MVP. But let me know, should they try to resign him? I really do think that the Yankees will throw a qualifying offer on him. Although, if the new collective bargaining agreement is different and they take away the qualifying offer, then maybe we go after Joey Gallo. Because I think 19 and a quarter could land Joey. Again from Mike, if it loads. Clevenger could be a sneaky cheap grab too because of his TJ surgery. Yeah, but if he pitches well this year, then it probably won't be too cheap. But I think he's a really good pitcher. From Tato, Lowe's issue is his timing. His double toe tap is what causes him to wait out on breaking pitches so well, but lay on fastballs. Yeah, I never obviously I noticed his double tap, but I never put two and two together. But if you take away the double tap, would teams just throw a bunch of curveballs or a bunch of sliders? Because in today's day and age, it doesn't really matter if you can't really throw a fastball. Because if a player's going to hit a fastball, they're just going to throw breaking pitches or off-speed pitches. So I think there has to be some sort of balance in there as well. From Tato again, please no Joey Gallo. Dude is way too streaky. Gets on my nerves. It's kind of like the Cowboys, you know. You think they're the best team in the league, and then it's like, what is going on? Personally, in my heart, I always have a place for Joey Gallo, but I do see where you guys are with him. Yeah, that's all I have to say. But going back to this free agency class, it's actually not terrible. Brandon Nemo, in my opinion, could be a sneaky pickup. Doesn't really play well in the outfield, but he's an on-base machine. He could be cheap. And I think the Rangers do need outfield help because our outfield depth for prospects isn't the best. You can always move some of our middle infielders to the outfield, but Bubba Thompson, he had a pretty good season in Double-A, but he struck out way too much. Steele Walker didn't play great. Leote has a question marks. Brandon Nemo could be interesting. And then you have Joe Musgrove and Mike Clevenger for starting pitchers. I don't think we'll go after Trey Turner or Aaron Judge. That would be crazy. That'd be like what's happening this year, next year. But that'd be a big financial commitment. Andrew Benintendi could. Nah, I don't think he's that good. Josh Bell, I really like Josh Bell. But we have to see how Nate Lowe plays this year. Manuel Margot, he hits bombs. I think. I don't know. I might be getting two guys mixed up, but I'm pretty sure he hits bombs. Luke Jackson, former Ranger. Seth Lugo, Austin Hedges, Tyler Naquin, Rafael Montero, Ross Stripling, Max Stassi, Miguel Castro, Odor, D. Gordon, Okay, so the class isn't great, but it's not bad. Jose Ramirez. Oh, that's a different Jose. It's some Jose Ramirez for the Braves, but the real Jose Ramirez or the better Jose Ramirez, he has a club option which will get picked up. Johnny Cueto. Is Johnny Cueto a free agent right now? Okay, so I think we passed all the decently good players, but Brendan Nemo could be a sneaky pickup. And if you want both starting pitchers, maybe Joe Musgrove, Mike Clevenger, and there's plenty of bullpen guys. I just didn't go over them. Jamison Tayon is on here. Michael Fulmer. So yeah, going back to some of the questions from Luis Dominguez. Are you naming free agents for next year? Yeah, so I think he just joined the live stream, but basically, I don't even know how I started talking about this, but I was saying that the Rangers are going to have basically 19.25 million next year whenever Elvis's contract is off the books and Odor's contract is off the books, because what the Rangers did in their trade is that they absorbed their salary in order to acquire prospects. So for Elvis's, we got Jonah Heim and Dane Acker, and then for Odor, we got I forgot the guys. They're two outfielders. But that's basically what we did. So we're still paying their contracts this year. And I was saying we have 19.25 for next year. I was just looking at potential guys. So I think Brendan Nemo could be interesting, Joe Musgrove, Mike Clevenger. But earlier in this video, I was talking about Clayton Kershaw, Seiya Suzuki, and bullpen options, which I'll get into a little bit more after some of these questions. Again, from Tato. Bubba Thompson's another Lewis Brinson at this point. Honestly, yeah, I think so. I mean, the Rangers didn't even add him or protect him from the Rule 5 draft. I think that goes to show where the Rangers think he is with his development. He is an elite athlete, but he strikes out way too much, and that is a problem. From Mike, I think he's on 2024 right now. Oh, me? I was doing the 2023 free agency class. So next year's free agency class, whenever the Rangers will have that extra money. But since we're in the lockout, no free agents are signing, but free agents will sign eventually. So who do you guys want the Rangers to sign? Outfield, the Rangers have shown interest in Seiya Suzuki. Although I broke this down in another video. My three options would be Kyle Schwarber, Seiya Suzuki, and Chris Bryant. Kyle Schwarber, in my opinion, would be the safest player. I don't know if you play him in left field. Maybe it's DH. But I think you pay him the money, maybe it's 15 to 20 million, and he produces for you. And then, I mean, there's only one season he didn't produce, and that was with 1 year ago with the Cubs, and they non-tendered him. That was a mistake by the Cubs. The second guy, Seiya Suzuki, I think he has the most potential, or the most upside. He's from Japan, and there have been really good players that have come from Japan, but there's also been busts that have come from Japan. Most notably, for the good players, Shohei Ohtani, Yu Darvish. Those come to mind. The Rangers always have an international presence overseas. We were interested in Hassan Kim last year. He plays in the Korean League, but I think he has the most upside. He almost walked more than he struck out last year. He had 38 bombs in Japan. He won a Gold Glove in Japan as well last year. He's basically like the Mike Trout in Japan. So I think it could do two things for you: advertising or marketing jersey sales in Japan. And then I think he has the most upside on both sides of the ball. And then Chris Bryant, I think he has the potential to be a bad contract down the line. I do like the guy, former MVP. I just don't like where he's going with his career. From Luis Dominguez. Castellanos as a DH, and hopefully both Kershaw and Rendon. Both. Whoa. That would be a lot of money. If we're being realistic, so let's just say Castellanos gets 25 million, Kershaw gets 15, and Rendon gets 15 as well. So that's 30 million to the pitchers, and then so a total of 55 million. And then Castellanos has a qualifying offer attached to him. So we'd have to give up another draft pick because we already have signed 2 players with the qualifying offer in Seiya and Simeon. I don't think Castellanos is realistic. That's why I think the Rangers would probably go a Schwarber or Suzuki route. Signing, I'm not going to rule out both Kershaw and Rendon. I'm not. It will cost a lot of money, but I'm not going to rule it out. From Tato. I think Bubba Thompson is the last super athletic toolsy player the Rangers have chosen in the first round. And I remember this is what the Rangers used to go for in the draft, high upside toolsy. Yeah, for sure. Obviously I'm not that old, so I don't remember like drafts from way, way long ago. But whenever the Rangers drafted Josh Young, that's whenever the draft strategy / philosophy changed for the Rangers. It was to take polished college players. Polished college players. There's not necessarily going to be like a super high upside, but the chances of them actually making the majors are really good. So Josh Young, he has the chance to start for the Rangers first, like opening day. Jack Leiter, he has the chance to play for the Rangers, I believe, next year. Justin Foscue, probably 2 years away. Who else? Those are our 3 recent draft picks that have been college players. However, if you think about it, a college player gets 3 to 4 years to develop under their own program. If it's Power 5, they probably have really good facilities. They also just get to develop as a human being as well. And then if you draft them, since they're probably going to be over the age of 18, that's how it's going to work. So you're going to have 4 years before you have to add them to the Rule 5 draft. That's there's the dog again. But that's 7 years of quality development right there. Oh. But if you draft a high school player, you have to add him to your roof. You have to protect him from the Rule 5 draft within 5 years of drafting him. So the Rangers had to protect Bubba Thompson this year. He was in the 2017 draft class. He didn't get protected. And it kind of makes sense why the Rangers are switching to this philosophy. You get 7 years of quality development over 5 years. I mean, the Rangers have, or MLB teams in general, have to believe in their player development, but still, 2 years can do a lot for almost anybody. I believe just look at your phone and just look at your pictures from 2 years ago. It's like, wow, I look so much, even a year ago. So that's why I think the Rangers, I mean, of course you have your Mike Trout. Joey Gallo was a high schooler, Bryce Harper. Actually, he was JUCO. But you know what I mean? But if you want them, I think the Rangers are trying to find the most successful way to grow their own players. I think this is the way that they've chosen. I mean, Cole Winn, I think that pick's great. But obviously we've had busts in the past. Chichi Gonzalez was actually a college player, but he wasn't from Power 5. He wasn't from Power 5. He was from ORU, a small school in Oklahoma. And Dylan Tate, he was from UC Santa Barbara. That's not Power 5. So it may not have the high training facilities or just training programs like Texas Tech, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State. That's what I'm getting at right there. And then going back to Tato, but those toolsy players never panned out because they never hit. That was the problem the Rangers had. They bet on the tools without the players even having hit tools. I'm glad they've moved on. Yeah, because if you look at it, Josh Young's best tool is his hit tool. Justin Foskey's best tool, his hit tool. So, and if you can't hit, you're not going to stay in this league for long. Like, you need to do other things, but you need to hit. I think that's one of the most important tools in this league. From Mike, Suzuki, Kershaw, trade for Olsen, maybe out of reliever, and we could be a legit wild card contender in 2022. Maybe. Matt Olson is really good, so possible. I think you'd probably switch out like Olsen for Castillo, and you probably maybe have a little bit higher chance of being a wild card, because I think a lot of people are banking on Nate Lowe having a really good year. But if he's in the Luis Castillo trade, then that's different. But I do think there's a really good chance that we get at least 2 out of 3 of those people on the list, Suzuki and Kershaw. So I think this is going to be a really good year for the Rangers. I don't think we're going to finish last in the Division 3. I think we can finish third. Obviously, the Athletics are trying to tank. But yeah. From Samuel, Evan Grant said it's very unlikely the Rangers sign Castellanos or Conforto because they will want 6 to 7 years since they already signed Simeon. Yeah, that makes complete sense. They also both have qualifying offers. I've talked about this before. If you were going to go after one of those two, it would definitely be Castellanos for me. I think he can spark energy in a clubhouse, and then he's electric with the bat. Conforto just had a down year, and he has a qualifying offer. Both of these guys aren't great in the outfield. And yeah, I think the Rangers would be more happy giving a contract to Suzuki or Schwarber. I think those two are really realistic. I've talked about Chris Bryant, but that's just my personal opinion. I really don't think that will happen. But you do have guys like Jock Peterson, Jorge Soler, Eddie Rosario. They aren't terrible, but I don't think they really move the needle for a team like the Rangers, who are okay. The Rangers down here after Seager, Simeon, blah 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 signings, probably they moved up. Would a Jock Peterson, Jorge Soler, Eddie Rosario move you here? I don't think so. I mean, Matt Olson will move you up. Luis Castillo will move you up. Suzuki, I'd probably move you up a little bit. Schwarber, yeah, I think so. I skipped a lot of questions. Whoops. But do you think Jonah Heim can still get better, or will Huff overtake the catcher position when he gets called up? So here's my thoughts on the Rangers catchers. We had a lot on the 40-man. Let me just check real quick. But I think a lot got designated for assignment. I know David Garcia got outrighted. I think we signed him back. Same with Yohel Pozo. But I'm not sure if we signed Pozo back. But my thoughts on the catchers, if I can get the roster. So obviously we know what Jose Trevino is. He sucks at offense. He sucks at base running. But he can control a pitching staff. And he plays defense really well. I do think that's actually the same thing with Jonah Heim, which is interesting. And since he's a switch hitting catcher, those take time to develop. I would definitely give Jonah Heim, see what he can do this year. Make him your starter and see what you can do. Because you do have Sam Huff coming. You have a really good draft class with catchers, college catchers. You know that those guys can move through the ranks really fast. I think you should have Jonah Heim be your starter. You know what you're getting in Jose Trevino. They provide pretty similar defense. Let's see, because there was time Jonah Heim had some really good offensive spurts last year. Can he provide that for a whole year? And under the new hitting coaches, can they crack anything out of him? That's what I'm really hoping, or just seeing if it's not there, that's okay. Sam Huff, Maybe his time will come, maybe not, because I'm worried about his knees. Because last year he hurt his hamstring in spring training, and then he had to get he hurt his knee in rehab, and he already hurt his knee in the Arizona Fall League. I really don't know if catcher is going to be his position moving forward, but he has so much power. Could he just be a DH, a first baseman? If he's a catcher, great. But with these knees injuries, I really don't see Sam Huff being a catcher for the Rangers. So, those are the only 3 catchers on the Rangers 40 man. Just I'd say let Jonah Heim have this spot. Obviously, with how catchers play nowadays, it's not going to be like a 70 to 20% split. Probably be 60-40 or 55-45. Let's see what you can get out of Jonah Heim, because there is a good draft class of catchers. Again, from Samuel. For me, I would sign Carlos Rodon or Clayton Kershaw and sign Kyle Schwarber to play left field. If they make a trade, it should be for Castillo, not Olsen. I mean, so, yeah, obviously I really do think we need to sign Kershaw. And if not, then try to get Rodon. If not, then that's pretty disappointing. Because then you're getting I still want an innings eater after that. But then who would be like a little bit above an innings eater? Would Kikuchi be above an innings eater? Not much, in my opinion. But definitely Carlos Rodon or Kershaw. I'm not ruling out signing both right now. I'm just not. After the recent, just after what the Rangers have done this offseason, I'm not going to rule out. Like I said, I feel like Rodon and Kershaw is kind of like Schwarber and Suzuki for me. I think Suzuki's more realistic and has most potential. But I'd probably be a little bit happier with Schwarber, if I'm being honest, because I know he's a safe option. But I don't know if the Rangers have even talked to him, if they're interested in him at all. And like I said, I'm okay if the Rangers have improved their farm system, and good for them. We've always been disrespected on that front, always getting ranked in the bottom third of the league. But we have a top 10 farm system now. We're getting some respect. But I wouldn't be mad if we trade some of the prospects for a Castillo or Olsen. I do think Castillo could help the team more. But I'm not going to complain if we did get Olsen. Because if you think about it, pitchers will help your team more than a first baseman, even though Castillo would only be pitching every 5th day. From Luis Dominguez, do you think Jonah Heim can still get Mike? I feel like Heim has more bat in him than he's shown, and he's great behind the plate. Yep, I do think that. Like I said, there was times last year he showed some significant or above average power, and I really want to see what the new hitting coach and offensive coordinator can do with Jonah Heim. So we've talked about Kershaw, we've talked about Suzuki. The last thing that I'm going to talk about tonight is the bullpen. So this is kind of like slid under the rug for me this offseason. Obviously, I think the infield is going to be just fine, even if we don't trade for Matt Olson. Because let's say you have Josh Young at third, Corey Seager at short, Marcus Semien at second, and then Nate Lowe at first. I think that's a pretty good infield. And then obviously you'll have your catchers, Jose Trevino, Jonah Heim, and then outfields where they need to still sign one. So Schwarber, Suzuki left, and then Adolis center, Cole Calhoun and right. And then I think Cole Calhoun's just a platoon. And like I said earlier, I don't think the Rangers are going to sign somebody to platoon with him, like a Jorge Soler. I think you have guys on the roster that could match lefties, like Eli White. Not really, but he's an option. Nick Solak, probably, and Andy Ibanez. Those are three guys. And then, like I said, the Rangers still need to go after starting pitchers, but I haven't really talked about the bullpen. So the bullpen is interesting in my opinion. I think it could be one of the strongest areas for the Texas Rangers. Obviously, you have the new guy, Joe Barlow, who pitched really, really well. Took over the closer role from Ian Kennedy after he was traded to the Phillies. So you have him. You have John King, who hopefully will be healthy next year. He pitched lights out. We moved him to a starter. Let's be honest, he actually played pretty well for a starter, and then he got hurt. I don't know if moving him was the right thing to do at the time, but you have him. Colby Allard, maybe a long relief role. DeMarcus Evans. Brett Martin. He's an average left-handed pitcher, which isn't bad to have. Spencer Patton, I think he could be a middle reliever, maybe a setup guy, and he's a nice veteran presence to have in the bullpen. Like I was talking about earlier, we could definitely sign some guys because Jonathan Hernandez and Jose Leclerc, the Tommy John surgeries on them, they're going to be out to the end of May. Do we go after Jake Diekman or an Ian Kennedy again? Reunions with both of those guys, that would be because they both played for the Rangers, or an Andrew Chafin. All three of those guys are solid bullpen options. They're all veteran players as well. So they could help this young staff, and they could also provide quality innings as well. You also have Dennis Santana, Josh Sborz, two guys that the Rangers trade for from the Dodgers in separate deals. Do they actually keep? They'll probably keep at least one. I think Santana and Sborz do have potential. And then you have Nick Snyder, throws gas, hasn't played well in the majors, but he was injured. So maybe you get him healthy and he plays well. But for what I said, it's really young. There's injuries. I think there needs to be a veteran presence. So maybe you sign one bullpen option. I don't think it'll be Kenley Jansen. I just don't. And you sign non-roster invitees to spring training because those guys do have a really good shot at making the roster. Ian Kennedy, Matt Bush, and Spencer Patton all were given non-roster invitees last year, and they all at some point made the roster. Tato, the bullpen is so unpredictable that I don't care if they do or don't do anything about it. In my opinion, there's always surprises in the bullpen every year, guys that come out of nowhere. That's true. I mean, just look at Joe Barlow. And then you always see like teams give out big contracts, and usually those guys just don't live up to it. That's why if it's just like 1 year deal, maybe a club option as well. I don't think there's too much harm in it, especially if you get somebody with a veteran presence. And then the guy Rex that we got from the Dodgers supposed to be a solid outfield prospect too. No, he's just depth. He's already 28 years old. I mean, he's played well in the minors, but I really don't know how much more potential. I don't think he really has potential in him. I mean, the other guy we got in the deal, or I think it was the same deal, Billy McKinney. He's younger, but he's not even in the organization anymore. So don't count on Zach Rex too much. If Evans can develop control, he will be really dangerous. Yes, I do agree with that because he showed to be dangerous in the minor leagues. It's just it wasn't able to translate to the majors. I do think he can be dangerous too. And imagine it. Let's just say we never made that terrible Corey Kluber trade. We would still have Emmanuel Clase. That would be amazing. I still can't believe we have Seager. Yep. I know. I was talking to one of my friends last night, and we literally just got one of the best middle infields in all baseball overnight, like that. Then we trade really good bullpen guys to Tampa for low last year. No, we traded like two or three prospects. I know one was a catcher, Humberto. I'll just look up the trade. Nate Lowe trade. But they're all minor leaguers. Oh shoot! Whoops. I know one was like a shortstop and one was like a first baseman / catcher. And then I know there had to be one other guy. I just can't remember. Okay, from Mike. My neck is hurting. I need to stand up. You got me crying when you said Class A. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know this, but that looks terrible. So I used to be a ball boy for the Los Angeles Dodgers AA affiliate, and the Dodgers AA affiliate, the Drillers, would play Frisco, and that's obviously the Rangers AA affiliate. So I would go, like I'm the ball boy, so I got to like prep stuff, and I saw a lot of Rangers prospects. I talked to Leody Taveras. I saw Emmanuel Clase, DeMarcus Evans. They were on the same team at the time. I remember Tyler Phillips, Brock Burke, Jason Barr. Those are some guys I do remember. Also, Jerickson Profar's brother, Jeremy Profar, was on the team at the time. Okay, going back to the trade for Nate Lowe, it was we traded infielder Oslevis Basabe, catcher Heriberto Hernandez, and outfielder Olivander Olivales. The last one is pretty much a nobody, but the first two are actual legit prospects. They didn't play well for Tampa Bay last year, but they actually are legit prospects within the organization. This has been a good live stream. If you have any more questions, put them in the comments section down below. If it's regarding free agency, trades, anything, put that in the comment section down below. I'll sit here about one more minute, but I really do appreciate everybody who has logged on, commented. It's been fun talking about the Rangers on these live streams. I'm going to try to do 2 live streams a week. One on Wednesday or Thursday. I haven't really decided, but definitely one on Saturday, and they'll all be at 9 p.m. So it's at a scheduled routine. But if you haven't already, make sure to like the video and subscribe, and make sure to share it with friends and family as well to grow the channel of the Rangers community. Thanks, Luis. Awesome stream. Are you new to the channel? If you are, thank you for joining, and if you aren't, thank you for continuing to watch my videos. And then from Mike, that's really cool about your past. Thanks for the stream, man. Later. Thank you, everybody. I really got to pee, but it's been fun. Have a good night, everybody. And make sure to join the Discord, link in the description down below, because obviously I can't make content 24/7, but I can obviously have quick chats and a Discord, so make sure to check that out. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. The broadcast needs to